Today is an exciting day. Hey guys, it's Gina with Sidewalk Talk. Today, I am with Spag Heddy. For some reason, I thought it was, I don't know if you saw this recent review that we did for EDM Reacts, and I thought I read it as Spag Daddy on accident, and I was like, no, it's Spag Heddy.
Well,
and like me being a spaghetti lover, I should have known and put this together, you know?
Spag Heddy. So it is Spag Heddy, and you probably, my Twitter username was Spag Daddy for a long time.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't like too off.
You're not entirely crazy. No.
Great. And like the story behind it was just so random, right? Like your roommates or something was just...
Yeah, it's pretty... it just came out of a stupid joke, and I got stuck to the name, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, it was because you're eating instant noodles?
Oh, yeah.
I have a roommate that has the same exact thing. He just eats instant noodles every single day.
Is he skinny?
Yes.
Skinny as a bone as well? Okay,
yes, he's like 6'2", just like very long dude.
One spaghetti.
And then
one spaghetti.
all he eats is just instant noodles. Like jjajangmyeon, if you're familiar with Korean foods.
Okay.
But yeah, it's so funny. You grew up in the Netherlands?
Yes.
What was it like growing up in the Netherlands?
Born and raised in the Netherlands. Well, it's a small country, so
tight.
It's I grew up in a rather small town in the east of Holland, but then during my teenage years I moved. When I went to for studies, I went to the big city, to Utrecht, which is one of the 4 major cities in Holland. Everybody always just knows Amsterdam, but there's also close to it. There's also Utrecht, as we say. And yeah, that's where a lot of more alternative music, like electronic music, like drum and bass, psytrance, that kind of stuff was really having really awesome shows and good days.
So what were your favorite things to do growing up in your town, or with your friends growing up?
I skated, rollerbladed.
Oh, rollerbladed. I thought you meant
skating.
skateboarding.
But I've learned that here in the US, when you say skate, that it either means ice skating or skateboarding.
Oh, okay.
So it's rollerblading. But aggressive inline.
Wait, what?
So
wait, what?
Yeah, so we'd travel through the country finding spots to grind from ledges and handrails and do gaps and. So not just skate parks, but we'd like to do street style.
Marcus, we're just gonna go up and down.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's shady. I'm just looking for shady areas.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're
so
hot. It is a very hot day today.
So hot.
Yeah, this is gonna be my cardio for the rest of the weekend.
It is kind of like back home for me, honestly. Well, no, I live in Barcelona. It's actually.
I was gonna ask you, what made you want to move to Barcelona?
Well, that's where I met my wife, my now wife. Yeah, so I met her on holidays there when I was there with friends from the Netherlands. And we've had a long distance relationship in the beginning for a few years. So between Spain and Holland. Yeah, we would travel and visit each other every now and then.
Whoa, that's not easy.
It's not, no.
To do long distance for years.
We did it for 3 or 4 years, and at some point it was like, no, we either gonna be closer to each other, or this is not gonna work out.
Yeah, I mean, after a few years, you're gonna have to figure that out. You're gonna. Wow.
So I was pretty easily convinced to go to Barcelona, since it's such a nice city. And
what's your favorite thing about Barcelona?
Favorite thing?
Yeah.
Man.
I hear so many amazing things about Barcelona, like food, everything.
Yeah, well, me originally as a skater, rollerblader, when you see that city, it looks like it's built for skating. Like the architecture, like the way that things are built, there's lots of ups and downs and cool structures.
That's so cool.
And I still look at the city in that way. I don't really rollerblade anymore, but I still look in that way to streets and architecture. But yeah, for the rest of the city is it's so nice. It has so many beautiful, very old streets and buildings and food. The food in Spain in general. Yeah. Have you been to Spain?
No. Oh. It's a bucket list.
Yes.
Every single time I ask someone, What's your favorite country besides Tokyo? Because Japan is just like
that's my number. That's my number one bucket list still.
But a lot of people after that say Barcelona. Like you have to visit there, like at least once.
And for a good reason. It's definitely the Spanish lifestyle is definitely quite chilled and laid back. People like to be outside there a lot. People stay up late. It's really outside,
I don't know if
culture.
that's my thing. I don't stay up late, that's for sure.
I'm not good at it anymore either, but that also has to do with having kids. But
Well, congratulations. How many kids do you have now?
I have 2 daughters.
Oh, 2 daughters.
Yes.
That's. Do you expect on having more?
No.
No.
I do not.
Also, 2 is the
2 is
special
good.
number.
2 is good enough for you. It's they're a handful.
What is something that was just so shocking after having kids, like something that you just didn't expect? Because, like I'm about to get married too, so I'm always like...
yes. Congrats on that, by the way.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you. And I just then you start to think about having kids. So like what, and that's like my follow-up question all the time, like, so what should I expect? What advice do you have for me?
I mean, the obvious. Sleep is going to be a difficult thing.
Oh gosh.
But that's mostly for the moms. The first years, of course, it's hardcore because you're with the baby all the time.
Yeah.
But once they start becoming, toddlers and when they start being kids,
They're
so cute. But there's so much going on all the time. Like when school starts, like daycare, school.
Oh my gosh.
And they start having friends and classmates, so there's lots of birthdays. That's where I was going to.
Oh.
There's so many birthday parties you're attending, and meetings to go to, and which is great. I mean, it's very social. Well, it's just there's so much going on when you have kids. Yes.
Go this way.
And if you're having a career at the same time, it's definitely I would recommend to. Wait as long as you can.
Especially like a touring, like as an artist. So
like right now, what I do, and this is a bit of an experiment as well, is I try to just do short runs away from home. So I just do weekend runs, bi-weekly. So every other weekend I do runs. So it's a lot of flying back and forth.
That's a lot.
I know. You gotta. Figure out some way to make it work.
Wow, yeah, I love that. I love that.
Also, but let me add to that, of course, we didn't start a family until I was at the point in my career where I could do that. When you're still coming up, make a name for yourself, you want to be available all the time for shows.
Of course.
And for work. Like when you're not doing shows, you got to be making music in the off time. So. You can definitely. I think it's doable, but you need to think. Well where you are in your career. How much you still want to grow.
It's just I'm just in that place where everything's so overwhelming and you're doing so many things, you can never find the right time. But is there ever a right time? That's the big question, you know what I mean? You'll never know, I guess.
We'll never know, I guess.
Until it happens.
Just wait and see.
Yeah.
It's a hustle, of course. You're living in LA. I mean.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to raise kids in LA though.
Yeah.
Because
when you have kids, you're gonna settle.
Yeah.
Right?
But we don't know where. We don't know where. Look at he's working so hard, Marcus. This guy right here. Boop.
Someone following us though.
Yeah.
And, leading us now.
Yeah, leading us.
I'm the number one fan.
Yeah.
Is that an automatic? Is this something driving around?
Have you never seen that?
No, what is that?
Oh, it's Uber Eats deliveries.
No way!
Yeah, little robot.
It's just crossing the street by itself like that?
You've never seen that?
No.
Oh yeah.
Definitely not.
If you live around this neighborhood, it's just pretty common. I hate that thing because it takes forever for anything to be delivered, which is the worst. We'll just cross that street over there.
But that would never work in Spain. It would get vandalized immediately.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that would happen more in LA, but it hasn't happened yet. Luckily.
Okay.
Luckily. And it has cameras all over that robot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when you were growing up in the Netherlands and you were skating, rollerblading, what type of music were you listening to with your friends?
Well, in those days in Holland there was a hip hop rap. I say that peak, like we're definitely having peak days. So I'm talking about like Dutch hip hop. So you wouldn't know.
Dutch hip hop.
Yeah.
What's Dutch hip hop?
Opgezwollen, ja wat. Well, hip hop rappers from Holland.
Yeah.
So I was listening to a lot of Dutch rappers. So those were very hype days.
Oh, so you're listening to hip hop.
Well, that was one of it. That's when I started producing. But when I was like delivering newspapers, I was always listening to my to like a lot of like punk rock, you know, Blink, Sum 41, that kind of stuff, like pop punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old were you when you were delivering newspapers?
Maybe 14, 15.
Oh, wow, you started
I started maybe
working.
younger with that already.
Oh, wow. How
Like,
long did you do that
I
for?
was very young. Did that for a few years.
Delivering newspapers?
Yeah, that was just
Was that like
just
a
job, just to have a first little job, you know, while
at
going
14, that's
while going to
great.
high school.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know what the legal age is, probably 15 or 16 before you can do that. Like as soon as I could, I did it. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, so
Biking around in my own neighborhood and delivering, newspapers and like advertisements.
Oh.
Yeah.
What? Was that like a common step that a lot of people went to deliver newspapers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you have any
sure.
other jobs growing up? Like after that?
I've done a whole bunch of little temporary jobs, but my when I moved to Utrecht, I worked in a music venue called Tivoli, which is the main venue in that city, and there I was a glass picker. So picking up glasses from the floor and then cleaning them so they could be brought back into the bar.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's also where that place is also where my music got played while I worked sometimes. Like some of my songs would be played by the DJs while I was with my face in people's asses because I was picking up glasses from the floor.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very
So how old were
definitely
you?
a from the bottom thing.
How old were you when you first started? Music, like getting into music production?
I've always played. I'm from a musical family as well, so like I've always played drums. And a little
musical family.
Yeah.
So what does your mom and your dad do?
So my whole family, or like almost my whole family. We are 7 siblings. So yes, Christian family. I told you.
That's common to have 7. Whoa,
I mean, back in the day, for sure, there was a lot of big families.
Siblings.
We're 7 total. So we're four guys and three women.
What is that like?
Well, I mean, it's
Where
fun.
are you placed? Are you like the middle child?
I'm number 6. There's one. I've only one younger than me, and the rest is all older.
You're like the baby of the family?
Kinda. I mean, my little sister mostly was. Hey, but my younger sister is now old. She has her own child and is married.
Wow.
Hey, but so the thing is though, when you are 7, especially in Holland, it's very common for teenagers when they go study in the city. They go live there, like in a dorm, I guess you call that. How you call it, like in a student house. When I grew up, the 3 oldest brothers and sisters, they were already out of the house pretty much. They didn't live at the parental house.
Okay, so the age gaps were pretty big between
My oldest
the
brother is
siblings.
like so much older than me.
Like how much older than you?
I think didn't he just, oh my God, we're recording this. I should know the ages. I am so bad at
I'm really
ages
bad at ages.
and birthdays.
Yeah, I don't even know.
My oldest brother is like, he's got to be almost 50 now. It's like 40,
Whoa.
like halfway 40s.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize you had such like a big family.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not.
I'm an only child.
You are?
Yeah, so I don't know what it's like to have any siblings.
You had so much attention your whole life. You had your parents on top of you all the time. No, I know.
No,
It's gotta be
too much.
It's gotta be intense.
Too Yeah, exactly.
No, I was number 6. Like, it didn't matter anymore what I did. Like, that's
Okay.
not entirely true. But
Yeah.
very lovely. I grew up in a very loving family, very caring. No bad words about that at all.
Yeah, so where did you get your creative side from?
I mean, it definitely helped growing up so I was saying, in evangelical church, there's not like how in Catholic church you have this organ player, right? And then people sing along with that.
Yeah.
In evangelical church is more like the gospel. Like there's a band on stage, they sing the more like gospel kind of songs.
Oh.
Yeah. One of my sisters used to listen to a lot of gospel at home, like black gospel, and I would hear that a lot. I would love that stuff. So that definitely influenced me a lot.
Okay. So what made you want to get into the music that you're getting into now? Like, when you were starting getting into music production, what did you tell your parents right away that you're going to pursue this, or what was their take?
No, but I honestly never planned on having like a music career. Sorry. Next to rollerblading, when we rollerbladed, I was always shooting video. What I wanted to do is, I wanted to be in the movie business, like be on movie sets. I was a visual guy. I was also always editing videos and like making my own graphics.
What?
Which nowadays, everybody can do it. It's not as, but
That's the hardest thing ever, though.
If you just go like 15 years back or something, there wasn't that much tutorials and stuff around.
Yeah.
So it was a bit more special than it is nowadays. Anyway, I wanted to do motion graphic design. That's what I studied for at the Art Academy in Utrecht. But then Dubstep came around in like 2010-ish in Holland, and that like got me like this. I just fell in love. I fell in love with this genre. Yeah. When I heard wobbles for the first time, like the Caspar and Rusco Fabric Live mix. I don't know if you noticed it. It's like a pretty legendary mix. One of the many Fabric Live mixes. It has this like very wobbly dubstep, and
this is a really nice house.
Yeah.
I look at it every day.
Definitely not a dubstep DJ.
Yeah, I look at it every day and I'm like, this is goals.
Yeah.
This is goals.
You can have a few kids in here.
Yeah, a few? I can have a family of seven kids in here comfortably. Sorry,
just looking to Marcus.
We're just gonna walk up and down the street.
Marcus is almost getting hit.
Oh yeah. We're just gonna walk up and down.
Florida, this is nothing to me.
Yeah.
Florida man. He's Florida man.
I'm from Chicago.
Yes, you are. I saw your phone number when I just texted you. That said
Oh,
Chicago.
yeah.
I'm like, hold up.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
that's
checking your
where
number again.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. Chicago.
Chi-town.
Have you been?
Yes, I've been there quite a few times.
But like
Yes.
longer than like for like a show or something? To like explore?
we stayed a few. My wife was with me also. I think at least one time. We've checked out a bit of the city. Yeah.
It's the best city ever. If LA and Chicago could just combine, that would be the best. That would be the ideal city for me, I think.
You combine those cities.
Yeah, well, not combine. I mean, what I love about LA and what I love about Chicago. Like, I love
What is it about Chicago? I honestly don't.
the architecture there, like how everything's the public transportation in Chicago is really easy. It's like not as busy as New York. Just the skyline. I think Chicago skyline is the best.
It is very nice.
Yeah.
It's after New York probably the nicest one. I mean,
Yeah. No,
I mean Manhattan, you can't really beat that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But Chicago's still really pretty.
Oh wow, you do
know.
love Chicago.
Yeah, I love Chicago. I think it's like a, just like Chicago bias. But then I love the people in LA that I've met.
But you grew up in Chicago.
Yeah, I grew up in Chicago.
Chicago City, like Chicago itself.
Yeah, like in the city. Grew up in the city. Yep.
Nice.
So yeah, what was so tell me a little bit more about like when you were getting into music and you discovered dubstep in Holland.
Yeah.
At what point, so what did you do after you heard that?
I immediately opened up Fruity Loops and started making it myself. FL Studio, it used to be Fruity Loops.
Yeah,
I love how people are still laughing about it, about the name.
No, it's because I messed up. I did an interview and like, I don't know if you know who Alok is, A-L-O-K. one of the. And I
Oh,
was,
yeah.
And he was.
I think I've seen
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So he literally told me, he was like, yeah, I was doing Fruity Loops. I was like, oh, the cereal?
Yeah.
I'm like, no!
Just doing Fruit Loops.
God damn. Yeah,
It's
so
the- it's
Fruity
the-
Loops. I know now what
It's
it
the
is.
secret. Now you know how we get those beats. We eat Fruit Loops all
Yeah,
day.
you eat Fruit Loops and you get mad beats.
Yes.
That's the secret.
So anyway, yeah, dubstep. I tried making those wobbles. How those basses were being used as leads instead of how you normally would use a guitar for a riff. They did that with wobble basses, and that blew my mind. It was like that was a totally new thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was already into drum and bass at that moment. Coming from Holland, Noisia is a very, a staple, obviously,
Yeah.
drum and bass, and in Holland. So their sound design was already sick, but then, you heard Skrillex take on that, like pretty much doing neuro basses like Noisia, but then in dubstep. Yeah, that blew my mind, and I was like sold pretty quickly to that.
Were you in school at this time?
Yes, I was in the art academy in Holland for motion graphic design. And yeah, which I nearly.
So you're like pursuing.
Yeah, so it was on the side. Like I would come home,
Yeah.
eat, and then all night make beats until like early morning, and then sleep a little bit and go back to studies. Those were the first days. Yeah.
So like.
So I never planned on this career. It just kind of
Yeah.
I did it on the side. I loved it so much that I was like obsessively making music all day,
That's
like
so
all night.
cool.
Better said.
Yeah.
I did finish my studies. I did finish the
Okay.
motion graphic design.
All right.
But I've never pursued that anymore. My ultimate dream was, and kind of is still, to combine that stuff someday. But I'm so out of touch with the whole
Out of touch
with that
with
whole the motion graphic world, all of that. Because like technology went so incredibly fast.
So
If you're, I feel like if you're for a month not doing any work, you're already like behind.
Yeah, you're behind.
It's-
There's something to learn, especially now. There's always something new to learn. Now everyone's getting into AI, video, whatever.
That's the new thing.
Yeah, it's the new thing. Like
Which
it's
is very
just like
cool.
coding.
There's a lot of cool stuff to be done
It's
with
become
that.
coding,
Yeah.
video, graphics, and all that other stuff, which
Yeah.
is just wild to me.
Yeah. So yeah.
So at what point did you tell your parents? Like, were they pretty responsive to your new career path?
Well, so first I grew up mostly with my father in my teenage years because my mother died when I was 10. So because you're parents, but of course at that moment I didn't have a mother anymore. So not that it matters for like how my life choices went. I don't think anything would have been different. But anyway, I've never heard, like, my dad's never been opposed to it or whatever. Also not super supportive in the sense of like, yeah, go do this, son. But yeah, I don't know. He just always let me do my thing. It went pretty quick with my dubstep, with my music project. So it looked kind of promising from the start. Like, I mean, maybe not show-wise, but definitely it was going somewhere, and it.
What were you
good.
doing differently at the time compared to other producers that were pursuing this as well? Like, is there something that you're like, oh, this is my kind of brand, my sound, like I want to go this direction, you know?
I think what I did maybe slightly different than the rest was like making drum step, but that's also not entirely true. I don't know. I never felt like I stood really out, but there was an audience for what I made. I think it's definitely some of my drum step tracks, so dubstep, but then at half speed drum and bass. Yeah. So drum step, I used to make like very cheesy melodic drum step.
Cheesy melodic.
Yeah, I'm saying
drum
cheesy,
step.
just like, easy melodies, like pretty, I say that, kind of, kind of low key, kind of like, I like to make catchy tunes. And like I pumped them out real quick. I was
Yeah.
producing really fast, and I just put them on SoundCloud. Those were the days. Like those were the SoundCloud days. Amazing. I put them online for free downloads, and that's kind of how I build up my fan base.
Okay, so my follow-up question would be like, SoundCloud was a huge thing for a lot of
Yes.
up-and-coming producers to grow.
Yeah.
But have you, like, what would you suggest producers or up-and-coming producers do now to kind of set themselves apart?
Yeah.
Ooh, this one.
That is a tough question, and I do get asked it a lot, or like
Right?
something similar.
Yeah.
I wish I had an easy answer for this, but I mean, back in the day, it was pretty easy because there was only SoundCloud.
Yeah, it was
And
like,
now
it was the
streaming
Tinder for music producers.
Yes. Now, yeah, you got streaming services, but it's just not the same. It's not that same thing as like the whole commenting culture and like of what SoundCloud had.
Yeah. Like, do you think it's TikTok? Is that like
So I'm not super familiar with TikTok yet, so I can't give any good advice on that.
Okay.
What I do want to mention is that it definitely helped for me that I made bootlegs back in the day. I made a lot of bootlegs of like famous songs, commercial songs. And since in those days you didn't immediately get striked, it was still a bit of an open market. It was just a wild
That
west.
was different. So
It's just-
different back like
We're a
from
bit-
10 years ago to now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for real, I mean, at some point the strikes came, but until that time, I made some bootlegs that did really well, and I think that caught Schism's attention as well. Some remixes that I did and bootlegs, and I always definitely recommend to upcoming producers to make as many bootlegs as you can, because
Make as many bootlegs as you can.
remixes. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's difficult to then get it out into the world, but if you just don't put it for download or for sale, there's ways. But
What's the best piece of music production advice that you've ever received? Is there like one where you're like, you've always had a difficulty doing all the time or trying to pinpoint, and then someone was just like, oh, just do this, you know? And then you're like, everything just clicked. Is there a moment like that for you?
Yeah. So, yeah, there's two aspects here though. Like, there's the very technical stuff that I'm not gonna bore you with right now.
I'm
but
sure
that's
a lot
definitely-
of these viewers would love that advice.
Well, mid-side, is one of those things that I was like, until someone told me about that you can actually control your mid and your sides separately in your, how you have stereo and you have mono. That you can make your sub frequencies mono and the rest stereo. That was like so many years after I already produced that I learned about it, and I was like, it's one of those things like, ta-da! Okay, that fixes so many things. Because it's insane. If you listen to some of my earliest productions, I have sub bass there that is stereo. Yeah, this is not gonna say a lot to maybe people that don't produce, but it's kind of embarrassing in a sense. No, it's not even embarrassing. I find it hilarious.
Well, now you're, obviously on a different level of music production, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nowhere near the technical level of many of my peers. But I mean, I can pretty much make the sounds that I want to make, and like, I think important is that you know how to make a song and like finish it, because like that's a big problem for a lot of people.
What's like, how do you start a song usually?
Starting is the fun and easy part, honestly. I mean,
okay.
You can do it in so many ways. For me, it often started with a sound design project. So just fooling around with basses, just having the record button on all the time, just recording everything you do, manipulate the basses, put that in a pattern, put drums on it, and boom, you have a beginning. Or you make your own drums, or just open up a piano and you start playing a cheesy melody line. I love doing it. I just love doing it.
Yeah.
But the difficult part is to finish a song. Like, make a song that's interesting for whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes that it is. To keep it interesting, that's the tricky part.
How do you keep it interesting?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is that the
I just ask AI to do that for me. No, just kidding. No, for me it's always been the trick to finish something in either one session or maybe two. Because if I take longer,
Oh
than
wait,
that,
finish
then,
a song
yeah.
in 2 sessions.
For me, the key was kinda that if I just do it in one go, so don't put too much attention into detail, but just lay out that whole track.
Whoa.
Do in that moment what comes to mind or what your fingers are doing, and finish that, and export it, and you're done. That's for me. I mean, that's not how it works for everyone.
Wow.
For me, if I work
fast.
on it more than 1 or 2 sessions, then I start just getting into this vicious cycle of like changing this a little bit, changing that, and it just never gets done.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there's producers that do like to work that way, which is, it's good to pay attention to detail. But I'm definitely a flow worker, as in, I gotta do it in that flow when I find that, and then finish it, or
Yeah. What are your favorite plugins that you use?
Sorry, what's that?
Your favorite plugins?
Favorite plugins?
Yeah. Like your always go-to plugin.
Yeah. Of course, OTT. Hey, gotta mention OTT here. It's like the fattener, huh? But like plugin, I still work a lot in Harmor, which is what I get asked about a lot, which is a native FL, so Fruity Loops plugin. It's a plugin that.
So you still use FL Studio right
Yes,
now?
yes.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Well,
I work in Ableton Live as well. I like the sound design there, but I make my songs in FL for sure.
Oh, is it hard to, like, is it because you just started with FL that you stuck with FL, or do you really just prefer FL over Ableton?
I think it's definitely what I got used to. Yeah.
Okay.
I've tried to, since so many of my fellow producers work in Ableton, I'd say that there's more working in Ableton than in FL. Just watching them, I always wanted to understand what they do and like be able to do it myself. So I've definitely learned the software.
Right.
I just don't enjoy working in it so much.
Oh, why?
For me, I'm definitely an old habits die hard thing, I guess. Just got used to FL.
You just got used to it. That makes sense.
I'm not too old now to learn all these new fancy programs.
That's true.
That's not entirely the case. But no, but there's a lot of other software, a lot of other programs out there that are very good in their own way. But yeah, FL for me.
FL for you.
Vocodex in FL is sick. I think you can have it in other programs too. Yeah, plugins. I mean, I still use Nexus a lot. I still use Massive. Love that stuff.
Nice.
Yes.
Time for the fun questions.
All right. Now fun questions.
Well, my fun questions.
Okay.
My favorite thing is food. So, what is your ultimate comfort food?
Okay. Well, this is my manager's gonna get angry. No, just kidding. Because I gotta go off brand. Well, my brand is of course the whole pasta Italian
spaghetti.
thing.
Yeah. This is comfort food.
Which is probably.
Know?
Oh wait, yeah. So now Asian food is definitely my.
Asian food.
Yes.
Like what kind?
Noodles, like. So that is actually pretty close to.
Well, actually, we're actually on brand.
Whenever we get to a place, I always look up where the nearest Asian restaurant is, like either Thai or Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese. Sushi. I absolutely love sushi.
So Asian food.
Yes.
What about Korean food? You didn't even mention Korean food. Have you ever had Korean food?
Why do you ask about Korean food?
Because I'm Korean.
Ah, okay.
You literally didn't mention the Korean
Yes,
food.
Korean as well. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of Asian countries. Okay?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, there's this Korean barbecue place in LA that I've been to a few times. It's very, very nice.
Yeah.
And in New York as well.
Okay, so noodles is your comfort food.
Yeah.
see.
I mean, to say one of the.
Do you cook?
Not great.
Just your instant noodles.
Yeah.
Which instant noodles? I'm just curious. Did you eat a lot?
Yakisoba. But also just like. Yeah, I mean the brands are different everywhere.
Yeah.
The instant noodles that we have at home, you might not have here.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, like I like the yakisoba one. So.
Oh, I see. I see. What's your favorite country you've traveled to?
United States. No. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, here's where.
Really?
Well, that's why I'm
Really?
laughing, because it feels so ridiculous to say that. Because no, yeah, I mean, here's where this is the where the American dream is, where the dubstep dream is. Favorite country? I mean, that's difficult. There's so many cool countries. Yeah, I mean, I love Australia too. New Zealand.
Australia!
Yes.
I've never been to any of it. I keep going back to Japan every single year.
Yes, well, that's my #1 bucket list too. So I'm still.
Wait, you
I
have
want
never-
people to stop asking me the question until I've been to Japan, and then you can ask me again.
Whoa! You haven't been to Japan yet?
No.
Oh my goodness.
We were working on a show there like a few weeks ago when I went to Thailand, and the idea was that we either did a show in Japan afterwards or
Yes.
Cambodia or something, but that it just didn't work out.
No, you have to make it happen. And you have to stay in Japan for at least 5 days after.
I know, I would love to. Did you go to Tokyo? Did you go to any other?
I literally just go to Tokyo, like, ever since I first went there 5 years ago, that's where I go back to at least once or twice a year.
Nice.
That's it. Because I don't have enough time in the year to, like, travel to other countries. So you choose one country, it's always Japan, Korea. Always.
Korea, I would like to go there too.
Oh, we've never been there either!
No, of course not.
Oh my goodness. What's your most watched movie?
That's a tough one. It's gotta be.
Are you a movie guy? You love
Yeah,
movies.
of course.
Yeah, of course. You
Of
love
course.
movies.
I mean, total, it's probably Jurassic Park, but
Jurassic Park.
it's a top 3. Because Jurassic Park, as a kid I used to watch Hook a lot, like the Peter Pan.
The Peter Pan?
Yeah,
Oh.
Robin Williams, and then Interstellar.
Interstellar.
I watched that movie non-stop.
That's the one with Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
Brilliant movie.
Yeah,
The
it is.
best movie ever.
Christopher Nolan.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, did you see the new movie?
Not yet. no.
Okay, me either.
No,
Have
because
to
you went
watch
to
it.
Barbie probably. Right?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't?
I haven't done that either. I'm gonna do it tomorrow though. But I heard
You
I'm
are.
supposed to watch Oppenheimer first and then watch Barbie.
That's what they say.
That's what I
to
heard.
cheer up.
Yeah.
To cheer yourself up
Yeah, to cheer yourself up.
after the trauma.
Yeah. How do you think you've grown as a person since you first started?
First started with like the music career.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
first started, that's birth. No?
Yeah, first started in life.
Yeah.
Since you first started in music.
How I grew as a person.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many aspects to that. Well, definitely in the beginning, when you're an upcoming producer, definitely you look for that rock star life. But then you also very quickly find out how, when you're a touring artist, how tiring it is,
Oh.
and you need your sleep. Yeah. So in the first years when I toured in the US, I did some European shows before that, but there's not too much. You can't make your bread in Europe on just dubstep shows.
Right.
You gotta be in the US.
Yeah.
I would go for a few weeks to the US and do as many shows as I could, and that was, exhausting for sure.
I bet. I still don't know how, to this day, how you guys have this lifestyle of I hate being in planes. I hate it so much.
Me too, and I can't sleep in planes.
You can't. It's
no,
so
I sleep really.
uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable. You gotta sleep sitting up. It's like, it's
And your
unnatural,
head is
man.
always bopping and,
Yeah.
trying to fall asleep, but then you wake yourself up because you're not,
Well, exactly, and it's so to go back to those questions.
Yeah.
You realize pretty quickly how disciplined you need to be, and that you gotta be professional about it. And at some point, it's
It's
of
not
course
a rock style
it's a-
life. Rock star.
you can obviously do it if
Yeah.
that's what you like and if that's what your goal is. Be my guest, but
Yeah.
at some point it also becomes your job, and it's business trips.
Yep.
But yeah, you definitely gotta keep loving what you do.
Yeah. What's the biggest lesson you learned in the music industry? A lot of people say contracts. Read the contracts. But
Oh, good one. Oh, I have my manager to do that. So.
yeah, no, yeah.
So
yeah,
I mean,
got
that
it.
maybe answers the question. Well, what I learned quite quickly is that I didn't want to be concerned and like spending my time on all the paperwork, on the legal stuff,
Right.
that kind of thing. So pretty early on, I met my manager Perry, who I still work with nowadays. Met him through Dave Dubloads, who he was working with at that time. And yeah, it was very early on in my American career, and he does all the that kind of work.
Few more questions.
Yeah.
What is top goal on your bucket list right now? Right now.
Well, visiting Japan. And Korea.
Okay.
And try Syrian food.
Oh wow!
Syrian
Okay,
food.
wow. We added so many goals to the bucket list just from today's discussion.
Yes.
But overall, what's like your top goal, music-wise?
I mean,
Like career-wise, what's like a top? Like performing somewhere, collaborating with someone.
no, yeah, absolutely. I've never played Ultra, and I've never played.
You've never played Ultra?
No.
Oh wow.
That's definitely still one of those festivals I'm looking at. Like, I'd like to play there. So
Yeah, I could totally see that.
There are some more festivals that I haven't played yet. But and main stage Tomorrowland.
Main stage
But,
Tomorrowland.
but you know, dubstep is not gonna get there.
What do you mean? You never know that. You never know that.
Well, I'm happy that
Yeah.
you're optimistic about it.
Yeah. Where do you see, like, as far as what you see in the music, the trend and everything, like, where do you see EDM going, like, 5 years from now?
Well, you see how
Or dubstep going 5 years from now?
I think there will not be too much different, to be honest. But you see how all the DJs are blending genres, how dubstep
Yeah.
producers are making techno.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna see more and more that genres blend together.
Yeah.
But also that will be a bubble that at some point bursts, pops, I think.
I see.
So there will always be a dubstep solid scene and like kind of underground that will be thriving. But yeah, everything blends. It's gonna be a lot of fusions.
I see. Lots of fusions.
Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received, or that you've given to other people, that you give to other people?
Life advice?
Yeah, life advice. You're a dad now, okay? You need life advice.
Yeah,
you need
yeah.
to give life advice, you know? Yeah.
I mean, I say to my daughter, like, you gotta listen to Papa and Mama, but I also tell her, treat others how you want to be treated. That's in general.
I love this.
That's in general how we all should be living. And you know, I have to remind myself of that, obviously, too. I ain't perfect either. Absolutely not. But yeah, I think that's as corny as it sounds, sort of. You know, it's the complete truth.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with that advice. Last question. What do you want to be remembered for?
Making, I want my music to be remembered. I want to be. That's what I did with the album too. I want to kind of go time. I want to go back to timeless music. Go into that singularity, into that black hole, stretched into that black hole.
Yeah.
Like a spaghetti strand, stretched into a black hole, into the
I
singularity,
saw
and
so many videos of this
become timeless.
spaghetti thing with meatball eyeballs. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be in my dreams, my nightmares.
Nightmares, yeah.
Just like this spaghetti cloud just haunting me forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love your branding. It's so unique.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's such a unique
It's
twist.
food. You know,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
there's a
I
lot of
love
food.
food. Exactly. I think it's so unique in the way that you made the whole spaghetti and like meatballs branding like so perfectly to the genre of music that you're into. It's great. It's great. But anyways, thank you guys so much. Thank you for being a part of this channel. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're gonna get out of this heat now.
Yes.
All right, bye.